So my dad is a pretty funny guy, and he's always either telling me these random
Why is he
facts about various
smashing
topics, or
Arizona
trying to give
green
me some
tea?
weird life advice, or sometimes when I was a kid, he would just make stuff up just to mess with me. So I'm gonna tell you about a few of those things.
Do you think the Queen of England likes her ass ate? I think she probably likes it.
So ever since I was a little kid, I was always doing
That's a
dangerous
great
stuff
piece of
like climbing
advice.
redwood trees and going off rope swings into the river and stuff like that. And anytime I would have plans to go to the river or a lake, my dad would always tell me about his buddy Pete from back in England. He'd say something like, "Never jump into a river. Back when I was your age, back in England, me mate Pete jumped into a river, but he didn't check the water before he jumped, and there was a tree in the water. Tree branch went up his bum, broke his back. Pete never walked again.
That's
Anyway, have fun, mate."
crazy.
And honestly, I'm
I was thinking like the river current would be too fast and you might not be as good of a swimmer as you thought you were and you'll drown. Not a tree will go up your butthole and it'll destroy your spine forever. That's crazy.
pretty sure my dad made that story up just to scare me into not jumping into rivers or lakes. So I've heard stories from some people about how when they were kids, their dads would always be telling them to stop fidgeting. And I cannot relate, because my dad would say the exact opposite.
I can't
He'd
really
always be
either.
like,
I don't have a
"Wanna know
dad.
how I stay fit? I fidget. I'm always shaking me legs or tapping my fingers. And throughout the day, that adds up to a whole workout." And honestly, I think he might be onto something.
Nah. You thought the first story was fake and that it was. Come on, bro. I know you're better than that. There's no way you thought that bullshit that he just said was onto something. Fidgeting to stay in shape? No, that's not a thing. Y'all have high metabolisms.
One time when I was really little, like around 5 years old probably, somehow or another I was talking to my dad about penises, you know, as father and son do. And quite frankly, I was kind of pissed that my penis was so small. And I asked my dad, "How do I get a bigger penis?" And he goes, "Well, you just have to pick one out the garden." And I'm like, "What?" "They dead ass grow in the garden." And he's like, "Yeah, your mum's got a whole patch in the backyard. You just have to go out there and pick a bigger one." And
I think he was trying to tell you that your mom bangs other men with larger wieners because that's the only way that makes any sense.
so, with no understanding of really how anything in the world worked, I
Yeah.
went to the backyard to look for a bigger penis. And I don't remember much about the situation after that, so I figure I just didn't find any dicks in the garden and then I just gave up. Meanwhile, my dad was in the house just sitting there,
Your mom's banging
fidgeting
other
and
dudes.
chuckling to himself over tricking a goddamn
sorry.
5-year-old into looking for dicks in a garden. My dad would always brag about how he's never done any drugs, besides, drink alcohol. He'd always be going on about how weed makes you a lazy person and blah blah blah. I'm too lazy to remember the rest of whatever the fuck else he said. But the funny thing is, my mom smokes weed, and she told me that one time before I was born, she snuck some weed butter into some pasta she made, and my dad got kinda high. Now, I think nothing crazy happened, and she told him afterwards, but I cannot imagine this dude high. Dude's fidgeting would be kicked into overdrive. Anyways, I gotta run. There's a farmer's market going on downtown, and I'm looking to pick me a big one today, boys. Wish me luck.
That was a great joke. Mostly true. That was a great joke. The farmer's market dick picking joke was phenomenal. On that note, though, I do hope that you have a good day, and I'm going to see you tomorrow.